Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for June 22nd, 2009. This is Patrick Ceresna. First off, I want to take a look at the S&P 500 using the SPDR exchange traded fund symbol SPY. Last week we came into the week with a sell day that ended up dropping the market below that 92.94 focal point, putting our second scenario of a consolidating market into play. At this stage, we think that far more range-bound markets are in order. The one thing that we are carefully watching here is this 91 level. That is where all of the retracement zones come in. So this is realistically one place where the market can bounce off of. Any selling below that 91 level on the spiders will certainly have us test down into that 86, 88 zone and really put that range-bound market into play. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE US Regional Banks Index, which is the symbol JLO. And last week saw us come into a perfect test into that 15, 16 focal point below and a bounce right off of that. The one predominant thing we've seen in these regional banks is that there's been relative weakness in comparison to the broader markets. And even though we anticipate these markets to continue to be weak, it doesn't particularly mean that they're going to go into an outright sell mode until the broader market is ready for a full sell cycle. And so therefore it's quite realistic that in the upcoming weeks we just continue to bounce along that 15-16 zone until we're ready for a much deeper, bigger sell cycle. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Syndex, which is a symbol SIN. This is an index of all the casino, tobacco, and distiller companies, and more or less we saw a sell-off that intensified all the way down into that 84, 86 focal point that we were watching last week with a bounce right off that zone. And really at this stage, we're at a critical moment. The market is starting to make lower lows. We definitely have a double top along the top side there. But again, like I was suggesting with the other indices, if we're not ready for a full sell cycle, we may still be looking for a little bit more range-bound price action. But any technical breakdowns with any momentum below $84 does open that window for testing. That can go as deep as that 75, 77 in this go-around. So it'll be very important to see whether this support line holds and contains all the selling here. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Home Builders Index, which is the symbol RUF. And more or less, we're continuing to see methodical selling and distribution occurring in the Home Builders Index. And really at this stage, we have been continuously targeting that 6.5 to 675 zone. Just want to bring to everyone's attention the 7 to 7.5 zone. That is actually where numerous measured moves and some even retracement zones sit in there. So with the selling itself being very methodical here, we can't rule out the possibility that we have some sort of a temporary low come in this zone and not reach that 6.5, 675 zone. If in fact we do get that support in there, what everyone could keep an eye on is that descending trend line right over here. More or less, once that breaks on the upside, there may be a good 50 cent to 75 cent move in the index on the upside, which may be tradable, but I wouldn't be looking for a new bullish move. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is the symbol FUM. And we had to do a few small adjustments to the upper focal points as the loss of momentum along that upside never did reach that 95 level, which was our upside target. We just missed it by a few dollars. But with the degree of the selling that came in last week, it's pretty evident that that's a key overhead resistance level. So we adjusted that focal point down to the 92, 94 zone. We are now right at a key support line in the 77 to 80 zone on the downside. Realistically, that is going to be where the first round of selling is going to come to an end, and we're probably going to bounce from there. But it'll be very interesting to see whether or not this natural gas index starts a topping formation up here, or whether it will use that as a springboard to continue a new trend. What will be the tell for sure will be the significance and the degree of the rally that comes off of these support lines. If the rally over the next couple of weeks is going to be shallow and with no conviction, then we'll be looking for a topping formation for sure. So let's just see how this plays out this week. Finally, I want to take a look at the ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is a symbol UKX. And in that natural global intermarket relationship that we've been seeing, the UK market really has been working in unison with the US markets. And really, when one goes down, the other tends to follow. And we're seeing that correlation quite evidently. And really at this stage, I don't expect that relation to be changing. So if in fact the S&P does continue to break down and consolidate, then we will more than likely be looking for the FTSE to make its way down toward that 400 level on the downside. In the same respects, if for whatever reason, if we see the broader markets making that move to push toward the higher levels, then we could be still targeting that 480 to 490 level on the upside. But nonetheless, it's evident that this market really has lost the wind in its sails, and we're probably going to be looking a lot more market chop in this zone. That was your ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.